Good evening. Happy Thursday. That can only mean one thing. You're hanging out with the guys at Waaaay Offsides. We got to do the housekeeping. That's just the nature of this business. You know the drill. Let's do it. Let's do the housekeeping. Please, please, please share, like, comment. If you're on Twitter, retweet, do all the things, like, subscribe. If you don't do that, we can't continue doing shows. YouTube hates us, is very mad at me and Chris right now. Not Jeff. Jeff's an angel and doesn't do anything wrong. But YouTube's angry at us. So
not on the tube anyway.
We need your help to get this thing popping off. We got a super special show to get tonight. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Chris and I
show tonight.
It is going to be a cool show. Chris and I are going to debate the starting quarterback position at the University of Alabama.
There's no
we're gonna try to do that with a level head, right, Chris?
There's no debate.
There's no debate. There's a debate.
You're wrong.
There's a debate, and you're very wrong. And so, chat in the comments. Tell us.
Go outside, nerd.
Who's right? Who's wrong? We got a lot of our regulars in here and a couple who aren't. What's up, Tim? Roll Tide is happy to see you, Tim. Do me a favor. Go tell everybody to get in here. Go tell them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the TikTok. Tell them all to get in here. JP, what's going on? Roll Tide. Hey, that's me. Roll Tide, Waaaay Offside. What up, C-Dub? Roll Tide, man. Yeah, it's heyday week, man. It's a lot going on.
You know who's missing that's normally in here 3 hours prior?
J-Bait. I know. I already
Lance already with the question of the night.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, Lance. Hold on. What's up, Elena? Howdy. Tip your hat. Special shout out to Elena. Elena hooked us up with a special guest.
Is this daughter of Cotton?
This is daughter of Cotton. So
Jay Walker in. What up, Jay Walker? What's up, Kayla?
It's a little elephant. Look, we got everybody joining now. Everyone's popping up in here. We have a very special guest tonight.
We do.
I'm really excited about this.
Spray.
K-Spray, what's going on? Everybody check on J-Bait. Make sure we need a welfare check. So make sure he's okay. But it's a very special guest tonight. I guess I should say the show notes first before we get to that. Sorry. I'm excited.
Yes, it's going to be a fun show.
You're always excited.
Like a toddler.
You don't play Pirates with me no more, though.
Well, we're going to. In fact, we may be able to play Pirates in Bryant-Denny Stadium because of our guest tonight. I'm just kidding. He's not going to do that. He's more responsible than we are.
I already called it, man. You guys snoozed. I already called the Bryant-Denny video game slot. Since Preston's my new best friend, it's happening. Ever seen Cable Guy?
Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
Tonight we have Mr. Preston Adelman, who is the Associate Director of Football, Creative.
Where's your applaud sound effects, Cotton? Don't you have a sound machine back there?
I don't have the soundboard plugged in. But
no, the soundboard sucks, man.
It does. It's bad. I got it off of Temu. The Associate Director of Football and Creative Branding at the University of Alabama, University of Alabama Football. He is one of the brains behind the New Wave podcast. And where's the old guy? The old guy, I guess we should provide a bill update. The old guy is doing old guy things, but he's doing them on a tropical island somewhere, and he'll be there until November. I'm going to put up an address on our website so that you can send him a care package. That should give you an idea of what he's doing. He's doing sort of army things.
Sort
of. Okay, trust me. I was in the Army for 12 years, and what Bill's old ass is doing is very sort of. So we're gonna get there, Vincent. We're gonna get there. Vincent coming in here live firing questions. But let's start off. Go ahead.
No, Chris, go ahead. You go ahead.
Somebody was speaking.
No, I was just making a sound.
Oh, meh. Anyway, so welcome in, please, Mr. Preston Adelman. Preston.
What's up, guys?
We're so happy to have you, man. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. So I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of things going on. Preston seems like a guy who gets things done. Preston is, like I said, he works for the University of Alabama, Associate Director of Alabama Football, Creativity and Branding, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about your role, Preston. What you do for Bama. You know, everybody's going to want to know about New Wave podcast. So don't be afraid to name drop, man.
Yeah, of course. I got hired up here in May by Coach DeBoer and the new staff. They really emphasized like wanting to like help the players get their voice out. Because like in the past, obviously they were able to tell their stories, but like with this new age of college football, everybody wants to tell their own stories. So then I got hired here to pretty much just come over and help brand the guys. So pretty much everything I do includes helping with social media content, recruiting graphics, running podcasts, helping like run creative for like brand deals that the guys get, logos, merch, everything. Like any way they want to brand themselves, they come to us. I work with a really great team, Walt Brock, who is like our head guy, Ryan Adams, who runs the social media and does all the graphics, Dante Oliver and Mako Kulik. There are 2 videographers. And then we got a great group of students, Grace Castleman, Emmy Fry, Billy Klaus, and Nigel Crosby. So it's like we have a big team, but it takes all of us just to come through and help brand the guys.
That's cool, man. I like what you said about helping them like tell their own stories.
Mhm.
Like, you know, usually what we get, that inside look, happens on like College Game Day. You know, they always do some sappy feature on somebody playing in the game of the week.
The Tom
it's cool
Rinaldi
that-
feature.
Well, I missed, yeah, I missed the Tom Rinaldi features, but I like that. I like that we can. Anyway, yeah, we're not doing. Settle down, Lance. I like that you guys get to kind of tell the story of some of these guys, and obviously, everybody's favorite kid right now is Ryan Williams. Can you talk a little bit about that relationship and what that looks like?
Yeah, exactly. Everything you see about Ryan, like you see all these videos about him being such a great guy. It's like the truth. It's like what you see on camera. That like he's really that in person. Like the most outgoing person ever. If there's 100 fans that need an autograph and he's going to dinner, he'll sign every autograph. He'll just go hungry. He'll make sure he gets every single kid taken care of. Just like 2 weeks ago, I was with him and he was signing autographs for kids. And then like the event tried to cut him off short, telling him that we got to go. And he's like, no, I got to get these kids, because I remember when I was a kid and all these people wouldn't sign for me. It's like great guy. And like you said, the College Game Day features, that's like one of our ways we want to do it, is because College Game Day, you get 13 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So that's you don't get, everybody doesn't get to tell their story. So that's really like what we emphasize. Like Jalen Hill, he's got a great story. We want to tell that.
Yeah.
Kate Proctor, can't go into details, but he's got a great story that we'll tell soon, because we're working on that right now. He's got a great story. All of like half the team, everybody has their own story. Like every single person in the world has their story. And a lot of these guys here at Bama, nobody really knows about their story. So that's where we come in. We want to help get all of these guys out, help tell all of their story in their own voice, because nowadays media, they can take one headline, run with whatever they want.
Sure. Yeah.
We give the guys the chance to tell it their way, which is how the podcast came about.
It's also good. Yeah. I think it's also good because, you know, you have a lot of new faces, and, you know, with a lot of the exits and stuff, when Coach Saban retired, you just had, I almost felt like a brand new team outside of a couple of veterans. So it's cool. It helps the fans kind of know these guys on a more intimate level. So yeah, I really enjoy the work that you're doing. I know I really enjoy a lot of the stuff I see come across social media. I'm most active on Twitter, but everything seems to always makes its way there. Yep. We were talking before the show about the when Bach was announcing that he was coming back, and the, you know, Fortnite on the field and those kind of things. I think it's great because us older fans, we enjoy it, but also, you know, you're kind of appealing to a younger group, and so it's a really cool marketing strategy. I've in my job now, outside of the podcast stuff, I've had to learn a lot about marketing unofficially, and there's almost a science to it, man. Like a legitimate science to marketing. It's pretty interesting.
Like things about me is like, typically people in my role, they have like a graphic design degree or some kind of arts degree. I have a marketing degree because I didn't plan to ever, like, I went to Jacksonville State. I did graphic design for the football team while I was there. But after I graduated, I planned to go into like athlete marketing or social media marketing. I was going to be done with like graphic design work, really. And then it's just like marketing work I did years ago when I met Walt Brock. It all came back. So as soon as he got hired here, he called me and he's like, we have an open spot. So it's like, kind of like the marketing background. I'm a marketing guy first, so it's like when I go into making like graphics or videos or planning creative shoots, I'm already doing the marketing before I even do the content. So it's like I'm planning the rollout. Like for example, the I don't know if you guys saw like the Ryan and LeBaron photo shoot we did a few weeks ago.
I
I was
did.
gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, it was epic.
Went mega viral. But
Yes.
like we did it right when LeBaron was going crazy in March Madness. But we've had that plan since probably October of last year. And we did the photo shoot like in early this year. We was just sitting on it because we knew either LeBaron will go crazy somewhere down the line or he'll declare for the draft. So that's like a marketing thing. Like we could have just dropped it as soon as we did it, but it's not going to have the same effect as it is in March Madness or in the SEC tournament when he's dropping 20 after 20 after 20.
Right.
That was an epic shoot.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that. I think I've got it saved on my phone, to be honest.
And that was an epic shoot.
pretty
So
sure
I
I
saw a picture you posted. I think it was on your Twitter maybe or something. At that shoot is a black and white shot of them sitting there, and you were in the shot, like taking the picture. You were taking a picture, and somebody took a picture of you taking a picture.
Yeah.
And so that was I was going to ask you if that was, you know, if you set all that up, if that was your idea or your team that put all that together.
It was kind of really like a team effort. Like whenever LeBaron came here, I knew he's from Mobile. I knew Ron's from Mobile. I saw Justin Jefferson and Anthony Edwards did it. So like in my mind instantly, I was like, we have to do this. So then I go talk to Ryan and I was telling him we got to do it. And he's like, me and Barron have already talked about this. So I was like, okay, cool.
God,
so
awesome.
then we call the basketball Steven, who runs like all of their media. And we're telling him about the idea. He's like, yeah, me and Barron already talked about this too. So I was like, literally all of us are thinking the same idea. Why have we not done it? And then we organized like a podcast and we went over to the basketball or the studio, got Kent, the photographer, and shot the content, and that's how it went.
Man.
But yeah, I was like pretty much in a way, yeah, I was like organizing it, setting up, but it was a big group of us that produced it.
That's cool, man.
That was a great shoot, man. Great shots.
Speaking of podcasts, obviously something that you're involved in that's really big is the New Wave podcast with Ryan Williams, Jalen Bachway, and I believe now Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
he's permanent. He's permanent third.
Yeah, because like them guys, they're like three of the best friends ever. Dre was gonna join last year, but then we just wanted to like do a trial run real quick because the original idea was Bach and Ryan. So we were just gonna let them, because they wanted to do this before they came here. They were gonna do it in their dorm though, and then we found out they're gonna film it in their dorm. We was like, no, let us give you like some extra protection. And then so we told Dre, we're like, let us get one season in, and then you hop in with us. And then we got it one season in, and then he's here now. He's like kind of been running it because like I guess he's not got that new, like he's got like that new car filling. So he wants to shoot every day. Like 3 times in the past 2 days, and he wants to shoot again.
It's a good ad, man, just because, you know, he's a legacy guy. You know, Dre Kirkpatrick is my generation. Mm-hmm. And so to see his kid, you know, that heavily involved, and obviously he's got a love for the university. So it makes it fun to watch, man. So tell me a little bit, if you don't mind, about the creative process behind that podcast and what it looks like, just kind of managing an episode, figuring out content and stuff like that. We actually have, you can see the logo above your head. That is the Waaaay Offsides Sports Network, and it is a collaborative effort of kind of creators, and we're trying to help each other and you know, help each other try to grow a brand and learn these strategies that you're talking about. So it may help some of these guys out talking about your creative process.
Yeah, really, it's like it all comes down to delegation. Like you don't want to do everything yourself. Like with this podcast, obviously I could run it all by myself because I've run other podcasts before, and that's what we was doing for like the first 2 episodes, and it was just so much work. Like you focus so much on one thing, you can't focus on other areas. Like you'll slack at the other areas. So with this podcast, like our approach is full hands on deck. Like we have literally the dream team. We got me and Walt, who pretty much like run behind the scenes, like pretty much lead produce it. And then we got Billy, who's one of our great freshman photographers. He's at every show, taking photos behind the scenes, helping us shoot like with the extra camera, giving us ideas. Like he edits the pods now. And then we have Emmy. She creates our like run of shows. She's another freshman, like a really great freshman we brought in. She plans the segments, writes up a literal full script for us. So the guys, they're not sitting there like trying to think of like what to say. They can come in and have segment by segment by segment ready to go. And then, yeah, we just show up. Michael Kulik, he'll help us with audio. Like, he'll mic him up, get the audio perfect. And then Dante Oliver, he'll come in there, set up the tripods for us, get all the cameras like lined up. And yeah, we just go in there, film, takes us like 20 minutes, and we got an episode. But what we do a lot of times where we can really get ahead is we'll film 4 episodes back to back to back.
Yeah.
We'll have the guys like change outfits. This is like special.
Just about to say they got to change the clothes and like off camera.
Yeah, special info for the people here. But yeah, we will bring to clothes. We can drop, so then we can film 4 episodes, drop it back like 4 weeks in a row, and that only took us like an hour of shooting. So it's just like that's one of our strengths. We're so good at planning that I think that's really what helps us grow. Because like all ties back to the marketing background. We just know, and like when we film all these episodes, we have all of our clips ready, all of our thumbnails, everything ready way in advance. So then a month later, we can film 4 more episodes, and then we're finally dropping all of our old episodes. So we're just so far ahead and everything. So like if we can't film 1 week, we're fine. If something comes up that we urgently need to drop a different episode, we've got other episodes in the bank for the next week. So
just getting got a backlog just waiting there you can pluck from. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Do the same thing.
Let me ask you a question, Preston. With the growth of the New Wave podcast, you know, and Dre coming on, and you seeing the growth over the year, and you kind of see this has potential for some real growth here. Is there any plan like to expand, say, like Michael was saying with the network, like a New Wave network where possible other shows, you would screen other shows and say, okay, we like this show, we'd like to invite them to be part of this New Wave network. And then we have a bank of shows like 7 to 8 hour. We have 3 20-minute shows, New Wave first, show B, show C in that hour block or whatever like that. I mean, is there like plans to kind of expand this, or are you just kind of focused on the New Wave podcast from, you know, right now?
Honestly, like when we first started, we was only locked in on the New Wave podcast. But then as we've grown and a lot of these other players see that these guys have a podcast, just went dark. These guys have a podcast. It's cool. It's cool to do it now because like before we did this, nobody else was really doing podcasts out here.
Yeah,
there's really not a lot of college football podcasts at all. It was like Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter. I can't name any others that have really done it. It's kind of like the whole podcast scene is really still new for like athletes in a way.
Right. Yeah.
We did it, and now a lot of these guys see that. And
what a shock! Bama laying down the groundwork.
Exactly.
It's never happened before.
A lot of these guys see that like this podcast is like really taking off and getting the guys really cool opportunities. So it went from we're having to go to these players. Do you want to hop on this podcast with us? To players coming to us. Why haven't I been on the podcast yet?
Boom.
Which these 2 players can we start our own podcast?
Yeah. That's what I was talking about there. Like, is it going to expand? Like, yeah, that's great.
And it's like
giving them a voice.
Like big names that it's like really big names that are wanting to start their own shows. So it's definitely going to definitely going to take off.
Good. When did the pod? I can't remind me. Do you remember when the podcast actually started? Like when you guys launched it? Was it? It was during the season, correct?
So in July is when we like really like came up with like started planning things. August, I think it was right after like one fall camp one day. We were all just sitting there, and then it was kind of like a slow day. We were like, let's just film something. So then we all hop in the car. We go to Jack Brown's out in Tuscaloosa to eat, like me, Ryan, Bach, and Walt. And we just talk over the podcast, and they're like, we can go shoot something tonight. So then we drive over to the studio in Bryant-Denny, which is another cool thing about Alabama now. It's like a new thing that came with this new NIL age. We have a whole podcast studio built into Bryant-Denny. Cameras, mics, green screens, whatever you need for the pod. So we all just drove over there. Didn't have anything planned. We just let the guys talk just to see how it would turn out. And they were going back and forth like with their fun banter. And first episode does 100K views, no promo. Like literally our biggest episode yet. Like it went crazy.
The banter between them was so funny. Like trash talking each other from the high school games they played against each other. That was such a fun dynamic with those two. And
this was before the Georgia game, right? Where Ryan really kind of popped off and
Yeah,
I mean, everybody knew him, but
this was like 2 weeks before the first game.
that's
Like
awesome.
we were just talking. Like they was on that episode, they were only talking about like how bad fall camp is, like trying to go to class, and all the students like harassing them. Like them, who's faster between the guys, which
Of course.
something's coming with that soon.
Okay, cool. A little spoiler. I like it.
We've been teasing it a little, but something might be happening with that. And then, yeah, obviously the state championship game, which they always talk about because Ryan went crazy, Bach went crazy.
Man,
so
that game there when Bach got to Bama and I saw they were putting him at cornerback, I was like, what? Did they not watch the state championship game? What?
No, you got to like. Which is why I'm glad he's been a receiver now because
yes. What was I saying all last year, guys, on the show? Why is he playing cornerback?
Yeah, you cannot keep the ball at, like he has to be on the field because
yes. Thank you.
All right, we got a Gator in here. We'll allow it this
all right.
week.
They just won the hoops championship.
Congratulations. We'll allow it
to the Gators.
We'll allow it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet.
Yeah,
please do.
Gators.
Them and their jean shorts.
So, Preston, we won't keep it too much longer. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. I do have a question that everybody's going to want to ask. Guys, if you want to ask a question to Preston, that's fine. If it's not crazy, we'll pop it up on the screen. Jay Bake's not in here, so it shouldn't get too wild. But Preston, in terms of players, I'm sure you've had, you're formulating relationships with a lot of these guys. When I was at Alabama, when I was working on my master's degree, I worked for the athletic department for a little while. But I still kind of had like that stars in the eyes thing when I'd see certain guys. I remember my first day on campus, I was walking into the Lloyd Hall and DJ Fluker comes walking out. And
how'd you know it was DJ Fluker?
Well, because it's DJ Fluker, bro. He's a massive human being.
There's not too many 6'7", 400-pound guys walking around campus.
Yeah. Like I'm 6'3", and I mean I'm a big dude, and that dude he dwarfed me. But like for a second, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I had to kind of like do you have that little starstruck moment sometimes, or are you just kind of used to it at this point?
No, we joke about that all the time. It's like literally that's like one of our most talked about like topics is like the facilities. I walk around the facility every day. It's just cool, a facility to me. But like the first day I walked in, starstruck, like just looking,
wide-eyed,
taking pictures of everything. Never being in the office, just looking at everything. Yeah, and then like seeing the players, like because growing up all my life, dream Bama fan. Like when I was 9 years old, the only thing I wanted to do work for Alabama. Like I have old tweets saying that. So then when I got here, I remember walking down the hall, or like the South Florida game, which is like still early in my days here. I walk by, there goes Julio, and then
that's crazy.
That same day, I'm sitting in the it was like the Saban Field naming day. So me and Walt we're filming like just different interviews with different players, and it's all the players I grew up like my favorite players. So it's like Jake Coker walks in, we film with him, and I'm sitting over there. I'm like, that's one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah, I knew Chris was good. Yeah, Chris too. That's why he's smiling so big.
All of the guys, but then where I really got starstruck is growing up. You always hear everybody talking about Saban. When he walks in the room, you feel like his aura. Like we're sitting there, back is turned. We're just me and Walt are talking. I don't know. I promise I'm not lying. I feel something walk in the room. Like I could feel it. I promise I'm not lying. I used to think people are lying. I am not lying. I turn around, Saban is just standing like 2 feet away from me, and then I'm like, "What?" Like, and I was trying not to fan out because like I work for the football team now, so it's like can't really fan out. But then I look at Walt. I was like, I would never ask for a picture with anybody here. I gotta get a picture with Saban because
the goat enters the room. All bets are off.
Yeah, he's taking pictures with everybody. So I was like, I look at my boss. I was like, I have to take a picture with Saban. He's like, yeah, let's get one with him. I was like, so then we go shake Saban's hand. I couldn't even say a word to him. Like I was trying to say something. Like I've met everybody you can think of. I've never been starstruck. I give him a handshake, and then I was just like trying to say something. I was gonna be like, I didn't even know what to say. I said I didn't even say a word. I just took the picture, walked off, and then like I was the rest of the game. Like I'm sitting in the press box 2 hours later. And then Ryan is sitting beside me. I probably annoyed him because I was like, I just met Saban. He's met Saban like he sees him all.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah. So,
but I'm like,
he recruited me. And I
just Saban. And then so
awesome.
Ryan Williams, another thing, like talking about the Starstruck thing is like I forget how like big these guys are in the state of Alabama, like showing the power of the script A.
Yeah.
Is we were doing like this event in Albertville like 2 weeks ago, like the autograph signing, and we took Ryan and Bach there, lined like there was the event started at 2 at 9 a.m. a line full of people everywhere, and I'm like, they're lining up for this guy that I work with these guys I work with every single
crazy.
day. And I just take it for granted. And then like people from my hometown, they're always calling me, I can't believe you work with Ryan. I'm like, that's just one of my boys. It's like,
yeah. I was just about to say to you, it's like, that's the dude that I pushed out of the stool the other day. Or like, that's the guy that did my shoes or something. Like he's just like one of the fellas. And we're out here going, Ryan Williams.
Exactly. It's just like before I got here, I was always telling people it's like generational talent. Like I was always telling people it's going to be one of my favorite players ever to come through Bama, and then I get hired here 3 months later, and then now it's just one of my boys.
And now you're just boys. That's cool, man. That is so cool.
So cool.
That is so
I like that you talk about like the power that's still behind the script. I like that. We tell people all the time,
There's
like
there.
that the brand is still lethal. That's kind of the thing we say about it, because when he. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a massive brand, but people just when Nick Saban retired, they were just so sure that Alabama's brand was just going to melt away, and it really hasn't gone anywhere.
Me and you.
Oh, I was just like Walt the other day was in Toronto, and he was telling us he's got like so many people in Toronto saying Roll Tide, like a whole nother country. It's just crazy to me.
That's nuts. Before we let you go, and whenever that is, I wanted to ask you this before I forgot. Like, what's Debo like? What's Coach DeBoer like? Is he intense off camera? Is he what you see smiling on camera? Is it the same guy? Like, what's Coach DeBoer like?
He's one of those guys that's like he can flip when he needs to. Like he knows when to like flip the switch and like be intense, but also it's like one of the greatest guys I've ever met, ever worked with. It's like you hear about him being so humble all the time, but no, like a genuine humble guy, like sends out Christmas cards to the whole staff, just comes through the office, checking in on us all, bringing cookies in the office random days, just random, like
That's
cares
awesome.
about you as a person, doesn't just treat you like you're just one of his staff workers, cares about the players. It's like I've never heard anybody say anything about him, which I see why. It's like real genuine guy. If you have a problem, you can go tell him, he'll help you out. If you're ever just wanting someone to talk to, you could like Coach DeBoer is one of those guys you can trust. Greatest person to work for, really.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. Well, Preston, we'll let you get on with your night, dude. I just want to thank you for coming on with us. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I probably speak for the other guys. You're welcome anytime. And if there's anything we can do with you or for you, man, don't be afraid to holler. Keep my daughter in check over there. We're down here far away.
We're crazy out here.
And she's wild, bro. She's crazy. If Elena, if you're still watching, we're talking about you.
Oh, she's watching.
There she is.
There she is. RTR.
All right. Preston, enjoy your evening, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll be in touch,
Preston.
buddy.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Have a good one.
Roll Tide.
All right. That was good stuff.
That was
man.
awesome. That was awesome.
Good stuff.
Did you take notes?
Well, luckily we record and we can just go back and watch everything.
But we don't.
So I do all the time.
No,
man.
you're lying.
I will go back as soon as we finish the show and watch.
We care about the show, Chris.
Yeah. But let's get to some good stuff. Lance,
me and Bill's out of the country, so
Lance said that his attention span's getting short. So we got to change the topic. All right, Lance, we're changing it for you. But before we do that, you guys know the drill. I gotta do it. I know you hate it. I know you absolutely hate it, but please share, like, subscribe, like Southern Red said, hit that thumbs up button. That helps us out. We can keep bringing you content, bringing you more guests like Preston. That was a really good interview. I enjoyed it. Really good insight to what's going on behind the scenes with marketing and the New Wave podcast. But it's 8A week, and we got to talk about that. And here's what I want to talk about right here. Red, Red is a Waaaay Offsides member, so we're going to talk about this immediately.
Yep.
Should have her back.
Dibs. If you want to be a Waaaay Offsides member, you can do that on YouTube, and we have 2 different options, and you get all sorts of fun goodies. Red hung in there for us with our YouTube debacle over the fall, but we have a lot of really good plans this year. All right. Cam Womack had me all excited last year talking about violent intentions. Maybe this year, I think that they got more violent as the season went on. Red,
I think it had a lot to do with. I think it had a lot to do with the talent that was in there.
Elaborate.
He wasn't. They weren't playing with all of his guys. I think we're going to see a different team this year on both sides of the ball.
I mean, dude, I think the secondary did exactly what we said it was
way different team.
They did.
Yeah, last year it started maybe shaky, and then it just got better as the year went on.
Maybe Red was expecting more stretchers on the field.
I guess. Hopefully not for our guys.
No.
Hopefully not our dudes. But Chris, to your point, I do expect everything I'm hearing out of spring ball. I expect Alabama to be a completely different version of itself in 2025.
Yeah, it is. I mean, night and day difference between last year. Well, in every facet, in every lane.
Tell us why. What's going to be the biggest difference? And you can't say quarterback.
No, just personnel or program as a whole.
What to you? What's the biggest difference, Chat? What's the biggest difference?
Oh, for me, it's exactly what Josh Pate said a while back. That year 2, the roster's now people that chose to be here. They've had 3 opportunities to bounce, and they've all stayed. So the roster now are ones that have bought in. The commits did not commit to Saban and stuck around for DeBoer. The commits are committed to Kalen DeBoer and his system, his program. The guys that stayed are committed to Kalen DeBoer's program and his way of doing things. So this offseason, this season is going to be Kalen DeBoer's team now. Last year, he was appeasing a lot of egos on the team. That's all gone. That all ended when the Michigan clock hit zeros. All that was over. So day 1 began the second the Michigan game ended.
I think that's a big reason why you never saw that.
That's gone.
All of that.
Saw what?
You never saw a QB change last year, is what you just said. Kind of stuck in the middle with you type deal. But I think what Vincent's point right here, I think Ryan Grubb is going to be the biggest factor. I really think that kind of threw a wrench into things last year, him taking the Seattle
big
job.
Time. And the line coach.
Yeah. And I think that's going to it's going to show up big time Alabama's offense. Now, somebody set it up here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and find the comment, but somebody was talking about Latsier Brooks. And if you watch the show, you know all about Latsier Brooks. You've known all about Latsier Brooks, because what have we done for 12 months? We've drooled over Latsier Brooks. The guy, super low. I mean, well, not low rated as a recruit, but much lower than he should have been. I don't think he ever got his 5th star, which is insane. But
that's fine.
Keep down the kid. I posted a video yesterday of Latsier in spring ball over on Twitter, and it got a lot of traction, and for good reason. And it's because the guy is so fluid and so smooth for a true freshman wide receiver. It's going to be absolutely insane watching him. Then you combine him with what we were just talking to Preston about, Ryan Williams. And then I think that other guy that Alabama brought in from Miami, Isaiah Horton, that dude, just those 3 alone are going to be disgusting wide receivers.
Our whole wide receiver room is shaping up. This has all the makings of 2020 version 2. The offense does. Other than the Najee Harris at running back, I think we'll have a combination of running backs that'll get that similar production.
And that seems lofty to say, right? Like, it's like when you say it, I kind of cringe a little bit. Yeah. But then I look at it, and Chris, tell me if I'm wrong here. I look at it, but then you look at some of these other pieces. Jeremy Bernard, who's been in Kalen DeBoer's system for years, Cole Adams, Rico Scott. Preston talked about him earlier. You're going to get Jalen Hell back. Dude, it is a plethora
That's
of
what I
riches.
think. I can't wait for him.
I'm excited about Jalen Hell. Then you bring in a 6'6" true freshman, big body guy in Derek Meadows, who they're probably going to use like we thought they would use Caleb Odom last year. And dude, if the right person's throwing these guys the ball, I pity the fool that's got to stop that. We know how good Alabama's secondary is. The footage I saw of Latsier Brooks, they were struggling, man.
Man, he was cooking them.
These weren't scrubs.
His little stutter step and go, he hit that and was and the dude was on his knee.
Yeah, I brought up Bray Hubbard earlier, and Bray Hubbard was one of these ones that was getting burnt.
That's not a fair matchup.
It's not.
No. Not at all.
Safety on Latsier Brooks is if that winds up, if we get a safety on that guy in the regular season, that's a touchdown immediately.
That's my point, Jeff, is we now have an offensive coordinator who can find that matchup. I'm happy you said that, because that's exactly my entire point, is we now have an offensive coordinator who can scheme to that matchup every game, because everybody's going to be, we got to lock down Ryan Williams. And we saw the emergence of Jeremy Bernard towards the end of the season last year, but then you've got all these other guys. Dude.
You can't lock all of them down.
No, you
can't lock them all down.
And then if you do, we've got a crazy stable of running backs. But to C-Dub's point, that I do want to see what the offensive line looks like. I think they're going to be stout.
That's the key.
They'll be good. I'm hoping they're as good as they were last year. Last year wasn't great, but it was better than the year before. So we'll see. But you have the right guy at quarterback. They can make up, in some instances, they can make up for poor O-line play. So we'll see. Chat, tell me, what are you looking forward to seeing? What's that change with Alabama football that you're expecting? We haven't even talked about the defensive side of the ball. There's going to be some crazy stuff.
Everybody on the defense came back. And I don't mean like 100%, but almost every key contributor on the defense elected to come back. They chose to come back. Deontay Lawson chose to come back. Now Campbell had to go. That guy balled out. That guy had to go to the draft.
First rounder, man. But and then on top of those guys that you bring back, you just brought in a really solid freshman crop of DBs. You got a couple of those hybrid linebackers, Justin Hill, Abdul Sanders Jr. Everybody knows about Dijon Lee Jr., who is already, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field at the cornerback position. What I'm interested to see Alabama do, Jermaine, defensively is I want to see a pass rush. I felt like Bama was good at rushing the quarterback. Rush. Yes, but they did not finish well last year. And I think that is showing up a little bit in camp. Guys look a little bit leaner, which to me means they're probably faster. And that's never a bad thing.
I think LT Overton wound up with like 2 sacks on the year, which sounds made up because he was in the backfield like every play. It seemed like every play he was in the backfield.
Just couldn't quite finish.
But just couldn't get him down. Couldn't get the sack. Or the guy would just slip out of his way. But he had hurries or pressures. He probably had 10 or 12 QB hurries or pressures. He was constantly in the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I got to take care of something.
Where are you going?
I gotta fix something. So
he's got a turtle head poking out. He's got all crap on deck that could choke a donkey.
That's exactly what it is. What you're looking for on the defensive side of the ball, discuss amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Consistency.
Yes.
Tackling. That would help.
Stacks. Pass rush. We need a pass rush.
Lance is right.
Number two. Yes, you will, Ty.
We can confirm. We can see Michael in the backstage. He is.
Yeah, we look at him.
Deuce.
Yep. he look like Smokey over there in the bushes.
I ain't the smartest man in the world.
Smokey.
I ain't gonna tell nobody else.
I'm not the smartest man in the world.
Smokey back here taking us. Anyway, sorry.
He's out.
My
Don't
mic,
tell nobody else though.
my mic stand was acting up. It almost fell. I had to fix it.
It's from
I was trying to
it's from
be
that
professional.
OnlyFans shit you be doing.
Feet pics, baby. That's
Family
what
show.
pays the light
Family
bill.
show.
That's all. I heard you've been showing more than feet.
Ape. Oh, Ty's in the house. What's up, Ty?
Yeah.
Y'all, Ty got a show coming out in 10 days.
No, Cotton won't be there. He's
You talking about A-Day?
yeah, he's down in he's down living the good life on South Beach.
Oh, Ty gonna hang out with Chris on Saturday, he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, he will.
I'm not doing a ton of traveling right now. I got kids graduating high school and college. So.
Yeah. Wait, you got kids graduating college this year?
Yes, dude. Lane.
No, ain't no way.
Yeah. Yeah. The oldest, man. Don't
Man,
say
I
what
remember. I remember when the oldest was playing dress up and confusing the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
I went to his house up in Oxford, and the way the kitchen was set up, it was a horseshoe, and you went in through the den and come out in the hallway. Well, like a kid would come through dressed as Cinderella, a kid would come through dressed as a pirate, a kid would come through dressed as Harry Potter, and then all of a sudden it was like Snow White, a Wookiee, a Darth Vader. It was all day long.
So what did Michael's daughter dress up as?
I don't know.
Remember.
He was
Those all
like, he's
sounded
like,
like Michael's costumes.
Princess
oh,
Mario.
My horn can touch the sky.
Hey guys, let's go. I want to go off topic really quick. Chat, bear with us. We're going to talk about something that has nothing to do with why you're here. Did you guys see the news?
It's a good way to get views.
That they brought back
What?
dire wolves?
yeah. That's
Why can't we leave things alone?
What is that? You have to
Man.
tell people what that is.
It's an ancient wolf that is larger than regular wolves. They were highly featured in Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Those were dire wolves.
So
I'm trying to erase that from my
you
memory.
know, there's a series of movies that show us why we shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
It's
Dun,
called
dun.
Jurassic
dun.
Park.
Yeah, man. Why are we messing with the natural order? They had their chance. They lost. Game over.
They couldn't make it.
Why do
Couldn't
we
make it.
insist? Why do we constantly insist on ruining a good thing?
I mean,
They should have brought Jeff Goldblum up there to sign off on it.
or we could have. Hey, if they
Have a
can do
T-Rex
that,
on order.
we can have a lot of Derrick Henrys in the future.
You actually just get the DNA. You have to grow your own T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what point, Chris? At what point do we start breeding
That's right.
in a
Southern
lab
Red, that's right.
perfect athletes? Right. Yeah,
We
there's gonna be a
already did.
pterodactyl, yeah.
I did
there's
that.
enough-
His name was Julio Jones. He just
Did
retired.
she spell pterodactyl correctly?
Probably, yes, she sure did.
I'm not
With the
questioning
silent DNA
Southern Red's spelling.
I think it
No,
is. I
skill.
think that is correct.
flying overhead. Caw-caw! Anyway,
Oh, I don't think that's what they sound like.
I think that was an eagle, but
I don't know.
I don't know. You'll never know because we don't need to bring them back. We have to stop messing. Like, this is really irking me. Like, I'll be laying in bed at night going, they brought back a damn 10,000-year-old extinct species for what good reason? Why did you do
You know,
again?
why couldn't they brought the dodo bird back?
Because
Something that won't
Spielberg's
change.
making a new Jurassic trilogy, and they didn't want to use CGI. They wanted live animals, so they just went ahead and grew them.
Look, I don't care what side of the fence you sit on, creationism versus evolution. I don't care. It doesn't make sense either way. Either they had their natural selection took its course, they had their shot. You lose.
Nature chose them to be
do not
extinct.
collect $200. Nature kicked
Ian
your ass.
Malcolm,
Goodbye.
Jurassic Park.
Or the good Lord decided he didn't want them here anymore, and he wiped them off the face of the earth. Why do we insist on? It's pissing me off. I'm gonna be honest, man. That was a weak eagle.
I don't-
Can't the good Lord do that with Tennessee fans? Just wipe them off the
there's
face of the earth.
an egg shortage.
Well, I heard that they were trying to genetically engineer the ultimate Tennessee fan, but there was a problem with the DNA. It was too muddied from all the inbreeding. So
Mm,
I said what I said. Moving on.
Speaking of
And we're
inbreeding,
back.
We're back. I'm sorry, guys.
Have you guys watched the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
I unfortunately have, and you can't unsee
No.
that.
I watch good shows. Sorry.
Man, you need to. You hadn't watched that, Jeff?
This one's
No,
not
I'm watching Daredevil, man.
It is.
Did you watch
worth
anything
watching
except the
just
new
for-
Daredevil?
It's worth watching. Just you need to watch it.
All right.
They took her baby.
Well, that's what you get for doing meth in the delivery room. But anyway,
Look, dude, I didn't know that before.
moving forward, we need to talk about
That was only the first
recruiting.
kid, not the second.
We need to talk about recruiting, and there's two recruits that I want you guys to keep an eye on. This is going to be very quick because there's not really a lot of movement right now. One of those is 5-star running back Xavier Crowell. He just visited Alabama this week. He's been on multiple visits. I think that Alabama stands a very good shot if they cut a check to land Xavier Crowell. And the guy is amazing. I do think if Alabama lands him, we may lose one or two guys in the portal. That's fine. I don't care. Also, somebody else I want you to keep an eye on, and this is a name that you've heard a lot, is 5-star wide receiver Cedarian Morgan. Morgan announced today that he will be visiting Alabama again. This will be his 6th visit, I think, which is crazy. We tell you guys all the time to do what? Follow the visits. Right?
Yes.
Here's the thing, Cotton.
Yeah.
Who's his other finalist?
Do you,
Can
do
you
you
tell
have
me
a-
where it makes sense?
Do you have a list of?
I mean,
Oh no,
we know why, right?
that's horrible, Red.
You know, he said he's taking his 6th visit, and it's down to Bama and Auburn, like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's checking out Alabama, and then he's going to see how much Auburn's going to offer him. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I think that a lot of these guys, again, Auburn fans hate when I say this, but if you'll go look at these recruiting graphics that Hayes Fawcett's putting out, like, oh, they've got it down to 5 schools. It's always the same schools. It's if they're
And somehow Auburn is in all that list every time.
yeah, if their recruitment is NIL driven, it's always the same schools: Ole Miss, Texas, maybe Texas A&M, Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Florida, and Oregon. Those are the big ones, right? So if NIL is a factor and Auburn's going to offer, you at least got to go listen to what the offer is. Now,
Exactly.
if Bama wants the guy or needs the guy, they'll cut a check. Man, they're gonna cut a check. They're not going to overpay for anybody. We've talked about that. You don't blow your load on one class. It's just setting yourself up for failure. You may catch lightning in a bottle like Ed Orgeron did, but 2 years later, you're gone. You're out the door. I think he won in that situation because he's still getting paid, but still.
Yeah, his buyout was like $17.5 million. And he was
tell
like,
me
where's
what
the
door you
door?
want. What
Which
door you want?
Go
What door
Tigers.
you want me to go out?
Still see him around BR jogging by the levee.
Yep.
A couple of other
Chilling.
guys that I want you guys to keep an eye on. Anthony Jones, a linebacker out of St. Paul's. We've talked about him a couple of times on the show. I think Bama's in really good position for him. And what's interesting in this class is what's interesting in this class is that Alabama just signed a really, really good cornerback class, right? They've had a few good cornerback classes in a row, and they're looking to do that again. They've already got a few commits. They got the 5-star Jordan Edmonds. But in terms of, their DBs, they're looking at Brandon Arrington, Elbert Hill. They've got a few guys that they're looking at. So it'll be interesting to see how Alabama approaches that. Then Derek Zammit, the 4-star quarterback. I haven't watched a lot on him. I think C-Dub asked about him. I haven't watched a lot on him, but we'll see. Nico owes Tennessee a refund. Don't speak to. He's still got a couple years, man.
Yeah.
I think Nico's going to be exactly what Jalen was. If he's got a clean pocket, the guy's legit.
Yeah.
But you get a little bit of pressure on him. That's what happened to Alabama. That's how he started hitting passes in the Alabama game. Alabama stopped getting pressure on the kid, and he was able
That'll
to
do it.
passes. So not a lot going on in the world of recruiting, but right now the big talk around Alabama football is, you guessed it, quarterbacks. Everybody wants to talk quarterbacks. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? And I'm going to tell you this before we prep any talk. I don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. Chris doesn't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. Joe Schmo and his YouTube channel, none of us know.
Nobody does.
You know why we don't know? Because Kalen DeBoer doesn't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. He said today that they've all had their moments in spring. They've all looked good, but there's not much separation between the three. You know, everybody keeps posting, oh, this is Keelan Russell taking first team snaps. Everybody gets some amount of first team snaps. It's not that big of a deal. They just decided to post that picture because they knew you were going to react to it.
Yep.
Right. And so I can tell you my opinion and who I think is going to start, but let me be clear. I don't know. Now, Chris and I fervently disagree here. And I kind of expect this to get a little heated because Chris and I are good friends, but sometimes we can go at each other's throats.
It won't.
Now we're talking. Now we can get into the show now.
Yeah.
I've been saying it. If you've been watching my uploads, and I say my uploads because Chris will not help me with them because he refuses to participate because he says I'm full of it.
I know Chris gets high views on his shorts too. He won't ever do it. Maybe that's
Ty,
why.
that is why, because I'm not in them. Ty is the guy in 2025. There we go. Red agrees with me. It's done. It's over. You lose, sir. You lost.
Quarterback's never been decided in spring.
No.
With none of the starters playing and
But
no
it
offense
has.
installed. Why would he decide the quarterback in the spring?
But it has.
How?
And let me tell you why. All right. Here's my first point. All right. Your Honor, man.
I'm not agreeing with Chris, but I need your
I
argument
wanna
here.
hear
I'm
this.
kind of mediating this.
So ideally,
Because I'm going to cross-examine
football,
Chris too.
we have a tendency to overcomplicate everything as fans. And we're approaching this
Do we
from
ever?
a fan perspective, right? Usually, and we say this whenever a guy gets hurt, what's the mentality when a guy gets hurt? Next man up, right? Who was the second in command at quarterback all season last year? When Jalen Milroe wasn't on the field, who was taking snaps?
What the hell does that got to do with this year?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this.
They
It's
trusted
not even the
him.
same offense. What are you talking
They
about?
trusted him to be the number 2 guy last year. He's gonna be the number 1 guy. They're not gonna give it over to a true freshman who's gonna come in. First of all, let me say this: you're all setting yourselves up for failure with Keelan Russell.
Who
Yes,
I
is
didn't
setting
say-
yourself up for failure?
Alabama fans, dude, they're setting themselves up for failure. That kid comes in, and the first time he throws an interception, he is going.
What do you think is going to happen with Ty? The first time he
Yeah.
throws a pick.
First
We're
time he
gonna
throws an
crucify this
interception.
guy, dude. It's over.
You
Hold on.
are going to be no. Hold
I'm
on,
not
no,
ganging
you-
up. Hang on. I don't
shut
want to
the
gang
hell
up.
up.
I don't want to gang up.
Hold on.
You're
I
going to
want
be the first one to say, "Pull him out, take him out."
I want to be clear here. There's a difference in bullying Ty Simpson and how certain Alabama fans are going to bully Keelan Russell online if he screws around and loses a ball game. Like let's be straight up. What's
any difference than the way they bully Jalen Milroe?
There's not. It's
It's
not
going to happen because all the armchair quarterbacks and the kids, the
Shut up,
40
Casey.
somethings that
QB2 is always the
that
most
should have
popular
been-
player.
that said, "Oh, if I wouldn't have twisted my ankle in my senior year, I'd have been in the NFL." Whatever.
Coach would have put me in. I'd take
Yeah.
state.
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
football over the mountains.
bunch of damn Al Bundys sitting around.
I'm going to argue for Austin
fun.
Mack. We got a Keelan argument or a tie. We got
Here's the
Keelan.
thing.
I'll argue for
Yeah, dude.
Austin Mack.
All I'm going to say is this. Would you rather someone that stuck it out and was number 2 last year lead the team? Or would you rather have the best man for the job do it?
I want the best man for the job, but it's so obvious that the best man for the job is Ty Simpson. He's got the most knowledge.
You know
He's
that?
he's got the most knowledge. He's got the seniority.
Most
he's
knowledge of
waited-
what?
Yeah.
Dude, how to play quarterback at the college level? What are you
He's
talking
not
about?
done it though. He's never done it.
Yeah, I mean he
Because he
fumbled a
You can't-
touchdown.
Yeah,
Jeff,
you got the arm wipe. You got the
He did
right
do that.
the wipe
I
off.
I'll give you that.
That's
I'll give you that. Jeff, we were just talking about how Kalen DeBoer's hands were tied, and
Right.
Jalen Milroe had to be the starting quarterback last year.
Right.
If that
Okay.
wasn't the scenario, who's the starting quarterback last year in 2020?
But that
Whoever
doesn't-
was
It ain't Jalen Milroe.
It doesn't
ain't Austin
matter.
Mack.
Last year doesn't matter. That's what I keep
Yeah,
telling
It
you.
does matter.
Your whole argument is predicated on
Here-
last year.
Dude,
All right,
sports
look,
are
okay, you know what? I'm going to say
True.
one name. I'm going to say one name. Blake Barnett.
This is the best question, Lance Hunter. Can you read a defense? Just give me the guy that can read the defense.
Look,
That's good.
Blake Barnett probably could have grown into the role.
Blake Barnett,
but he quit. His dad quit the team.
He was promised he was going to start, and that's exactly what he did. He started, and then he was pulled
because he sucked.
He did.
But had he gone in there and gone 10 for 12 for 175 yards and 3 tubs, they wouldn't have pulled him.
No. So what happens what are you going to if Russell beats out Simpson because he's the better man for the job? I mean, come on.
I mean, ideally, it would line up with Ty playing this year. Keelan learns the ropes, and then Keelan, like Bryce and Mac, transition. But we don't have the luxury of saying, well, we're playing for 2026. So
you know what?
Because Ty was the backup last year, he's automatically the guy.
I don't give a damn about a coach's loyalty to a player. There's only one thing I care about, and that's that trophy case getting filled up.
Yeah, but this isn't about loyalty. This is about
if Russell's the better player and they start Simpson, that's what it's about.
First of all, I think you have to build parameters around the idea of
You're
the better
a damn
player.
bully. You know that?
Russell may be a better player all the way around, but he may not be the best fit for the game at the moment because he doesn't know the playbook. He's not up to speed.
And he doesn't have to know it. It's only spring. You don't have to know it till August 30th.
I agree with C-Dub here. I think Ty's going to have a very similar year to Coker. Now, poor Austin Mack and all this. Everybody's talking Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, and forget Austin Mack.
I'll make the argument for Mac.
I mean,
Mac knows the offense better than everybody. You keep talking about Ty last year. Austin knows it more than anybody because he was actually there in DeBoer and Grubb's real offense.
This is not
so he's got a leg up on Mr. Ty.
Yeah, this is actually very accurate.
My man,
this is accurate.
I mean, he's right.
Who just won the Natty?
Greg McElroy went undefeated, so that's
Will Howard won a quarterback at Ohio, or won a Natty at Ohio State. Will freaking Howard.
He could actually throw the ball. I mean, McElroy could throw about 35 yards if he got a crow hop, and he went undefeated.
Oh, yeah, Greg's going to be very unhappy with you.
He'll be okay. We all know the greatest quarterback to ever come through this program, Saban era, Jake Coker.
Jacob Elias Coker.
Yep.
I don't know if that's his real name.
Well, we obviously can't take you too serious with the quarterback argument now, so you've just eliminated both of you. So I guess Austin Mack wins.
Look, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson is, you can make the argument, and I get what you're saying, Chris. You don't care about loyalty. You can make the argument that he waited, so you at least have to try him.
He waited,
right? You at least have to try him.
Well, he's trying. They're all going to get equal shot.
They're learning right now.
You may be right. You may be right, Michael. He may be Ty, but Ty and Austin got long, slow releases. I don't like that. That's my biggest hang up on Ty is the long, slow release.
You want me to tell you who the better passer of the three is? Russell.
Sure. I don't disagree with you there, Chris. Yeah. I don't. But the thing is raw talent doesn't always translate to success. We've seen this over.
But the thing is, you or nobody else knows what kind of knowledge this kid has.
I do. He's a true freshman.
How long has he been studying the playbook?
He's had the playbook.
Not as long as Ty Simpson and Austin Mack.
No, Ty hadn't had the playbook. Austin Mack's had the playbook.
Yeah. I mean,
Ty's had a playbook, but not the playbook.
Look. One of the most talented, and I might get chewed up for this and spit back out, but I'm going to say it. One of the most, not the most talented, one of the most talented wide receivers to ever come through the University of Alabama ended up being a huge bust. And it had nothing to do with his actual athletic ability. Agiye Hall. Agiye Hall is one of the most talented wide receivers to ever come out.
He's not a quarterback. We're not talking about wide receivers.
His position is less technical than a quarterback. So
true.
Yeah, picking that up and applying it to the quarterback position, it makes more sense that natural talent is not going to be enough. And I think Keelan Russell is going to have his day. I just don't think it's 2025.
I guess we'll have to find out.
What is the easiest?
You don't have to be a damn bully.
I'm sorry. I'm
You don't have
passionate.
to be
No,
a
this is
bully, but-
debate. This is what
No,
we're
you're
doing
being a
debate.
bully. You
That's a
should
good
see the
question.
he's sending me text messages.
I'm not.
Oh, Lord.
So this is a good question.
Y'all text each other after the show?
What's the easiest? Nobody's texting Jeff. What's the Jeff gets pressed about that? What's the easiest position to come in and show out as a freshman?
This is a good
Probably-
question.
Probably
Linebacker.
wide receiver.
Linebacker.
I think wide.
Well, it depends on which position, though. If you're having to call the defense at middle linebacker, that's
Oh,
probably
no.
not the easiest.
I know freshman.
I mean, Ben
linebacker.
Davis took 5 years and still couldn't figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
I think wide receiver,
He's fine. His career's done.
maybe.
It's great.
I
Sorry.
want to say maybe one of the tackle positions, left or right tackle, just to kind of depending on your ability.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, but you don't have to
Your Honor.
study. I mean, I don't know how much you have to study as a left tackle. I've never. I mean,
Your Honor, I would like to submit to the court as evidence Caden Proctor.
but I mean, he was the best tackle we had as a freshman.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's why I started. But
So that's why he was the guy that played. He was the best one we had. Doesn't mean he was elite, no, but he was the best one we had. I mean, Andre Smith came in and was All-American right out of Birmingham, which I always laughed because Saban's biggest critique of Andre Smith was he never had to work ever. So when he got to Bama, when Saban got there and made him work, he's miserable. And, but can you imagine Andre Smith in high school at his size? He was just chucking people.
yeah,
I mean, he probably didn't have to study film, train much or anything because he was just bigger than everybody.
I think a lot of people that are saying running back is the easiest position to come in as a true freshman. No, I disagree. Just
I
because
disagree with that.
there's a lot of blocking
and
things that go into being a running back. That
there's so
don't
much
necessarily-
blocking as a running back that you never notice unless you're focused on the running backs when you're watching a game.
Yeah.
Or if the play gets blown up, you watch the replay and 90% of the time it's the running back didn't pick up
Yeah, they
his
didn't
man or didn't slide over in time, So that's why Sean Alexander didn't play much as a freshman, even though he ran for 300 yards in Baton Rouge. And Ivy Williams, the running backs coach, said he didn't block well enough. So we're gonna keep playing Curtis Alexander for the rest of the year. Like, what? But that's a big deal.
Was Najee a freshman at Alabama? I don't
He
think
played 4
Ingram
years.
was either, and I'm pretty
What are
sure
you talking
Yeldon was. When they were starters, I'm pretty sure they weren't.
No,
Started.
no, that's not how it was Glenn Coffey, and then it was and Ingram, and then it was Ingram Trent, and then Trent Eddie, and then Eddie Yeldon. It's always
Yeldon.
upper class, lower class. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way it was for Saban anyway. Because everybody forgets about Glenn Coffey, but he set the bar for running backs.
He did.
that
Yeah. He
07
did.
year.
Yeah.
He was
And then
amazing that year.
Then the dude said, "Screw this! I'm going to go be an Army Ranger."
Yeah, he was just going to be a Ranger instead.
yeah.
Play
Straight
1 year in
back.
the NFL and said, "This isn't challenging enough. I need something. I'm bored."
Go jump out of airplanes and
Yeah,
kill us.
no
with
problem.
Bin Laden.
No problem. But he gets overlooked a lot in the Bama all-time running back because he only was really there 1 year with Saban, but he had a
right.
really good year.
Go ahead, Chris.
Speaking of Alabama running backs, I don't know if you guys know it, but Sherman Williams is now the head coach at Blunt High School here in Mobile.
I did know that.
We need to
I
get
did
him
know.
on the show, Chris. Work your magic, man. The Sherman Shake.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
how-
know.
How about all these former Saban guys getting these coaching jobs at like West
Alabama.
Yeah.
It's
But
so good.
everybody's like, oh, I saw somebody they made a post that this is the best coaching staff in college. I'm like, these guys have never coached before. How do you know?
Yeah. I'll say
They were
this.
the best coaching staff of players.
I'll say this,
Yeah.
man. If you're a recruit considering going there, you better make sure you got some huckleberries on you, because if they're
Yeah.
gonna adopt the Saban model, they're gonna work your tail off.
You're gonna
You're gonna
work,
work,
bro.
brother. You're gonna work. So,
And I'm happy for Coach Cochran, man. That
Yeah.
comeback stories are
Mhm.
always good to hear, no matter what level, whether you're playing or coaching. He was
Who
always one of
knows?
my favorite.
He may take West Alabama to the playoffs.
I mean, they don't have the infrastructure really to do
No, they
that.
don't.
But really, I mean, all they have to do is what Kirby Smart did when he went to Georgia, is just copy and paste that Alabama model, and it's gonna work at their level.
Didn't
It's
Tyreek
gonna
Hill
work.
play at West Alabama or get kicked off the West Alabama team or something?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah,
Probably.
I think Tyreek Hill was just involved in a domestic dispute.
I did see that today.
What's the Isaiah Bond news? Did I miss something with
I don't know.
Isaiah
I
Bond?
missed something too.
Yeah, somebody said something about Isaiah
Because
Bond.
he
Yeah.
put out a post saying something about don't believe it. Let
me look it up.
So I'm assuming somebody accused him of harassment or domestic or something.
Turns himself into police on sexual assault.
Frisco. Oh,
It's always
There it is.
It is
Oh.
always some Deshaun Watson crap.
innocent
Don't worry.
until proven guilty. boys
Deshaun
and
Watson
girls.
has declared he's all the naysayers will motivate him for his big comeback in
Yeah.
2026.
That's it.
Oh
Gotcha.
man. Well,
That's-
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
At least it.
did it. I hope he gets the help he needs, and if he didn't, roll tide. We hate you. So.
Hey,
Sorry,
man, like
Hate
he-
is a strong word.
he takes a lot of crap for leaving, but if you're presented with, you can play in Sark's offense with Ewers, or you can play in this new coach's offense with a first-time coordinator and Jalen Milroe as your quarterback. You're like, well, I'm trying to get the NFL, so I need to go. It didn't work out for him, but if you're stepping back, looking at your two choices, if you're trying to get the NFL, you'd be a fool not to go to Sark's offense.
My problem.
Smitty had 2,000 yards receiving in that
Yeah,
offense.
my problem is that he did it. He did it for that Lambo. He didn't do it. He did it for a Lambo, and then he goes and gets a Lambo. What is the Urus or whatever? Urus? I don't know how you pronounce it because I don't know crap about Lambos. But he went and got the hatchback Lambo, man. I was like, "What are you doing, brother?" Like,
There's a guy at my job that has a Porsche station wagon, and I'm like, first off, you buy a Porsche and you buy a station wagon, you should be taken out and beaten repeatedly.
yeah, hey man, some people just like station wagons. You know what
What's
I'm
wrong
saying?
with that?
Oh, K-spray, dropping mics.
I put it on the screen. I didn't leave it up long.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, look, before we wrap up, I just want to remind you all about our memberships. If you have the extra cash, we could use it. Give it to us. We do have 2 different memberships that you can join via YouTube. This is what you get with each. This helps us out, so please consider joining. Again, we want to thank Preston for being here. That was a fantastic interview. I really enjoyed the insight. If you become a member and make $1,000 donation, huh?
You want me to bring this down to St. Augustine?
I don't know anybody in St. Augustine.
Oh, I'm sorry, South Beach.
Damn it, Chris. I don't live in St. Augustine. I don't know anything about that.
Well, whose house did
you wanna
I
thank
think do it at 131 Long Street?
I don't know, man. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. So,
In
I want
Beals.
to thank you all for hanging out with us. Please, engage with us on social media throughout the week. If you're not on Twitter, definitely on Twitter, on YouTube. If we post a short,
We do have
feel
fun.
free- share that everywhere. Tell your friends about us at work. When you're at A-Day, doing the
Tell your
A-Day
mom and
game.
them.
Yeah, Chris is going to A-Day, right? So look for Chris and make sure you tell everybody, hey, Waaaay Offsides, join them. If you got a Waaaay Offsides shirt, rock it at A-Day, man. Tell folks about it.
Eventually,
Red-
we're going to have Waaaay Offsides shirt with our logo on them.
I've
Yeah,
We
got
have those.
Got one.
I've got one.
Okay.
I do too. So just tell folks about us, man. That word of mouth is the best way to promote us, and we love each and every one of you.
If I see if any of you see me at A-Day and you don't scream Blitz Bama Blitz, I'm not even gonna. I'm walking the other way.
Don't scream that at him.
Do it.
Subscribe to Waaaay Offsides or something. All right,
Do that instead.
Yeah,
If you
do
get the
that
urge
instead.
to scream Blitz, Bama Blitz, open your phone and subscribe to the pod instead.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, control yourselves.
Control yourselves. Control.
But
I think that craze is wearing off.
thank goodness. I saw a video of him barefoot with a drip torch the other day. I was like, the
Yeah,
hell gave him a drip torch, man? But anyway,
I mean, he did put
that's a
cigarettes
terrible
out on his
idea.
feet.
There you go, C-Dub. All right, C-Dub, you're in charge of making sure everybody there knows to sub. Just walk around and take their damn phones and just go to
That's
YouTube and
Hey, let me
subscribe
show you
them all.
something.
Come back. If you get arrested, Chris is in
DP.
town. He'll take care of you. So, all right, guys. As always,
Now
you know the drill. Say
subscribe.
your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee too. We'll see you next week. Roll Tide, boys and girls.
Roll Tide.
Roll damn Tide.